So I'm here to talk about this new partnership between Aqua Security and Akamai. So, sir, you look like you might know something about Akamai. Okay, maybe. So you've heard of the Akamai AI Firewall, or Firewall for AI applications. So some of you know something about, right? Well, you probably haven't heard much about Aqua Security. So I'm here to tell you about that integration. Aqua Security, okay, we are known as the container security folks. We've been doing container security for 10 years. Over 350 employees, we're FedRAMP High certified, lots of big customers, and we integrate with the biggest platforms on the planet. If you know container security, you know Aqua. But what you're gonna say is, okay, what does that have to do with firewalls and AI and Maui Jim sunglasses? Because right now, one of you is gonna win a pair of Maui Jim sunglasses just for sitting there. But you know, I'm just saying. Okay, so Aqua Security and Akamai announced last week a partnership and integration between Firewall for AI applications and our container agents. And what are we talking about? Well, we're talking about securing AI applications. We're talking about AI security posture management, configuration, making sure that you're configured properly and you're monitoring and scanning for potential risks. That's one piece of it. We're talking about runtime security too. This is deploying an agent into your AI runtime so that you can secure those containers that are running AI against prompt injections and many, many other attacks. And you can alert on suspicious activity and even stop that activity in its tracks, thereby saving yourself a lot of headaches, potentially financial liabilities. We're talking about AI code security, handling inputs and outputs appropriately, and then governance. Do you guys using AI in the enterprise anywhere? Do you know where exactly all of your AI is? There you go. Same problem everybody else is having. The answer is nope, don't know. And why don't you know? Because people are deploying. We call it shadow AI. It's out there. We can help you find that shadow AI and then help you secure it once you find it. Okay, so what's all that cool stuff mean? Let's throw up the most complicated diagram we can get through in the next 2 minutes. You're building an LLM application. Usually, there's two ways you're going to use an LLM model. You're going to use a model outside the enterprise. Aye, careful, that's a shockingly electric screen. Or you're going to be using models inside the enterprise. Either one. Now, the Akamai Firewall for AI, that LLM application makes a request. That request passes through and you get guardrails for both inputs and outputs on the AI application use on the LLM. Inside the workload, you're running a little agent that's dependent on eBPF traces out of the kernel. What does that mean? That means I can see everything that workload is doing and make decisions as to whether or not to allow it. Then I have input and output guardrails on both the request and the response. That's great if you're going out of the enterprise to a public model. Stop touching the screen, it really hurts. But what if you have an LLM application number 2 that's actually going to internal models? And in those cases, you have no such guardrails. And now you do. With Aqua, our agent will actually be asking the firewall application, the AI firewall for AI applications, whether or not that prompt is legit, and then handling the response and allowing or disallowing in the interaction. So basically you're getting inside out and inside protection for your AI applications at the prompt level. That's the net of it. So in and output inspection, we've got securing those LLMs at the edge, in the cloud, in hybrid clouds, on-prem, and blocking potentially harmful model behavior. That's the value proposition of what we're talking about, what we announced last week. We can help you with model discovery. Well, how do you do that? Well, I'm glad you asked. Because that agent is sitting and watching the trace in the kernel of the container, making the call to the model. We know what model, we know what's being asked of the model. We can prevent the calls to unapproved models and enforce that. And we can find the use to begin with. Like first find it, second regulate it or govern it. We can protect the workload. Let's say a prompt injection is successful on that workload and you can compromise and escape the container. I can prevent this from happening with the Aqua agent. Traditional container security at work. We have DLP prevention because anything that passes out of the enterprise is going to pass through the LLM firewall, right? And then model behavior profiling. If your model starts acting wonky, it's like HAL, right? HAL 9000 starts going crazy and trying to kill you, I'll know because I can observe the behavior in the trace, in the container, and identify HAL before he becomes HAL and infamous. And we've got frictionless deployment, right? We're no SDKs, no changes to your SDKs, no changes to your development processes. Simply deploy the agent that you probably already have if you have container security, and voila. All right. How do you get set up? Really easy. More than happy to show you how easy this is. Deploy the Aqua Enforcer, that's our agent. Grab an API key from our friends here. Enter that key on the integration screen, and that's it. Very easy. Prompts are inspected by the firewall, no SDKs, changes, or anything else. And that's it. I promised you, what, 5 minutes, 8 minutes? That's where we are. Aqua and Akamai, securing your AI/LLM applications inside and outside the organization. Done. All right, everybody. Black screen. That was fun.